Welcome back to a Different Perspective podcast. I'm Maylise. Today I have a very, very special guest. My blood, same DNA, same womb, just 6 years apart. Melissa.
Woo! Yay! Hello.
We also have a large crowd in the room today. We have baby Jeremiah, so if you hear him crying, fussing, he's in the room.
and Stephanie on the soundboard.
And Stephanie on the sound, camera, baby duty, all the above.
Do you want to say something?
I want to say hi. So excited. Okay, that's it.
Okay. So let's start off. It's a little harder when your guest is your family and someone you're so close with because you know absolutely everything about them. But let's start off by tell us your age, a little bit about your life right now, how things are going. Go ahead.
Okay. I am 27 years old. I'm the middle child of the gang. What'd you ask me?
Your age,
my age,
what you do,
what I do. I do a lot. I like to say that I am a jack of many trade and a master of none. I'm a mom. I'm a wife. I'm everything. Everything that you can think of, I do it. I support my husband on all of his business ventures. I take care of my house. I have a 17-year-old daughter. I have a 7-year-old daughter. And I just gave birth 3 weeks ago to a little baby boy. And yeah, that's pretty much my life. I'm home a lot. I take care of my family. I take care of my duties, my friends. And yeah.
Awesome. You're great.
Thanks. It's a little tiring.
Yeah, she's the mom.
But I have great people around me to fill me and show me love and support. So it's good. It's fun. I love doing what I do. I love the hospitality side of things. I think that's my spiritual gifting is that I'm a giver. And I think maybe can testify that my home is open. Everybody has the code to my door and they just walk in and make themselves at home. And yeah. I just want people to feel loved, you know?
Yeah. He's probably hungry.
Just give him the milk. It's okay. It's not hard.
All right. So I guess my first question for you is, how long have you been a believer? When did you get saved, baptized? I mean, you don't know exact dates. You can tell us time frame. And, yeah, let's start with that.
I have been a believer, I think, now going on 4 years. And then I got baptized very shortly after I got saved. It was a very quick process, but the best decisions of my life for sure.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. It was an emotional roller coaster, but the best roller coaster that I've been on.
Facts. You brought us all along with you too.
I know. I was the first one in my family to accept Jesus, and everybody came with me.
So tell us a little bit about like your past, like your testimony, starting from the good old days, back in the day. So it's good to reminisce on these times so you can see how far you've come.
Yeah.
Know?
So my sister and I, we grew up in a Jehovah's Witness household. My parents decided to follow that religion they were very young. I think they were like in their early 20s. And then my brother was born. Oh, I should also mention that they're immigrants. They discovered Jehovah's Witnesses in Cuba. And then they came to the United States on a little raft, got picked up by a cruise ship. Crazy story. They had my 18-month-old brother on there. And then they came here, and then they continued to grow in the Jehovah's Witness church. And then we got obviously dragged into it. And
I was
then
a lot younger though. I was a baby
Yeah.
compared to y'all. You guys were a little more older and experienced.
I vividly remember mom and dad like taking the church serious, like when I was like around maybe like 5 or 6. That's when it started getting like really serious, and they were actually like moving up in the congregation. And it was hard because at the young age I never wanted to be a part of it. Even when I was younger, I realized that like I don't want to be here. This sucks. Like I don't like it. I've never felt like led to do any of it. And then our older brother took it very serious. My brother our dad had somebody mentor him and took him all the way to the top that you can get in the Jehovah's Witness congregation. And so
It's hard not to say
Huh?
it's hard not to say CULT.
yeah,
Mm-hmm.
because
Whatever. Proceed.
Me being the middle one, my brother is also we're all 6 years apart, but my brother being the figure that he was, I think my parents wanted us to be just like him, but my sister was too young to do anything about it. So my dad started really pressuring me to become like my brother. And everywhere we went, nobody really knew me as like, oh, there's Melissa. Everybody kind of just knew me as like my brother's sister. And so they made me like get baptized, and I have no idea what I was doing. Like my dad today admits that like because like, you're supposed to like take these little classes and like these little courses and get tested on before you get baptized there. And so my dad admits today that like I would answer the questions and like they were not right at all, like every single question. But since like my brother and like all that stuff, I'm guessing they just like scooted me to it, so I ended up getting baptized at 11 in that place.
Yeah, that place. Well, you have to mention too that like we also had no childhood.
Yeah.
Especially you, because I mean you were obviously a little older.
Yeah, no childhood. I was like always the only like I was like forced to go out and like go like door knocking, and they had pushed me onto my brother's mentor's wife, so like I would go do like Bible studies with her and everything, and I honestly hated everything about it 100%. Like I hated all of it. And like they would give you like these little papers at the end of the month, and you had to fill in like how many hours you preached, how many magazines you gave out, how many Bible studies did you start, like all this stuff. And like I would just lie on it because like I didn't do any of it. I wanted nothing to do with it. I hated it. And so that kind of, when I started getting into my like my early preteen, that kind of led me to start living a double life. Like I hated that, but I really like I didn't want anything to do with it. So I would just like, and it was really easy to have a double life because my parents broke up. Our parents got divorced in like 2009 or 2010, somewhere around there.
2009. I asked recently.
And so my mom left the church, left the, that place. She left and she never looked back. But so
She really never looked back. Like, ever.
Never.
Like, I feel
she
like,
didn't even talk about it anymore. Like, ever, like, wanting to go back or nothing like that.
I mean, I feel like now, I mean, obviously, like, my mom is attending church with us as well. And, I mean, praise God. But before we even became, like, believers and Christians, like, my mom, her only the only God she knew was the God that she worshipped when she was a Jehovah Witness. So it's like that's all she really knew. So despite not looking back, that's still the only thing she knew. That was all she knew. So when she would pray or would think about like anything religious, I guess I could
That's
say
what she
like
thought about.
that's what she thought about, because that was
And
the only
it's
thing
like-
she
And at the end of the day, it's really hard as like an ex-JW to go seeking something else, because like you're literally brainwashed into like thinking that everything that's not JW is a lie, and that's gonna like get you like killed and like all this crazy stuff.
I think it's
So-
like it was literally up to like last year, like honestly the end of last year, where I was fully like comfortable with like everything you experience as a Christian, you know, like deliverance and like tongues and like all that stuff, like
You get conflict in your head about
because
it.
they make you feel like, you know, like everything is just everything is demonic, like that.
Yeah.
None of that is real. Like
I mean,
praising, worshiping,
Voting is
voting,
demonic.
celebrating holidays, like everything is demonic. Like
Yeah, we never growing up we didn't have Christmases or birthdays. We didn't have any of that stuff. I didn't really have friends. I didn't go to birthday parties as a kid. Like that's why to this day it's really hard for me to remember birthdays, because I never had to. I never had to remember birthdays because like you weren't gonna celebrate them. So then I forget everybody's birthday. I forget my kids' birthdays sometimes.
You know what I'm thinking about right now? Like the one thing that they were probably right about, which like I see now, is like, remember when like mom and dad would tell you that you couldn't hang up posters?
Oh yeah.
But it makes sense because it's like you're idolizing someone. So like that, all right, I respect it. You know what I'm saying? Like, okay, fine, I won't hang up a poster of
I still hung them up.
Justin Bieber. And bro, you would take up from the, what was it, the JB magazine,
J14?
the J14, JB, the J14 magazine.
I think they were JB14. Look it up. I'm gonna look it up.
Comment when you look it up. If you really watch this video, if you watched up to this point, look it up and tell us what that magazine is
Is
called.
it J14 or JB14?
This is what's gonna tell us if they really be watching it, because I know Stephanie over here don't be watching it, but she says she watch it all the time.
Oh.
She's like, okay. Proceed.
Sorry. So I'm a little all over the place, but my life was all over the place.
So you had a double life. You started living your double life.
Oh yeah, my double life started in 5th grade. Like toward the end of 5th grade, I started getting interested in like this little neighborhood boy, and then that summer, 5th grade to 6th grade, was when like I had my first kiss, and I was like, oh my gosh, this is like crazy, you know. And so it went downhill from there. I completely, absolutely rebelled to the max. Like I had this double life that was so crazy, and I don't know how I hid it so well. Like to this day, there's like random stuff that pops into my head, and I'll call mom and I'll be like, hey, just because I can't get in trouble anymore.
The fact that you even hit it though, like the fact that you even hit it, because I feel like, I mean, obviously I was a lot younger, but like, and mom was out of it already in a way, but I lived my life to the fullest without hiding one thing from any of them.
Because it was so easy for you to do it because mom was so checked out.
They were over it already.
She didn't care, you know, and dad had his own problems. So
did you ever tell mom about the time where I stayed up with you guys really late, and the only way for me not to snitch was for you to take me out, like sneak me out with you guys, and I started having a really bad anxiety attack at
because you were so scared, and we're like, bro, chill.
Melissa, it was 4 a.m, bro. She had me in the trenches, bro, trying to meet up with some boy.
I don't remember where we went or what was it.
It was behind like Teague, like
we were walking.
You were walking, and I was like 8 years old, 7 years old. Imagine Kimberly. Imagine me sneaking Kimberly out. Not even me, someone younger, like way younger, like Val sneaking Kimberly out to go meet up some boy. Period.
That was rough.
Proceed.
Obviously, it wasn't the first time I did it. Well, the thing is, mom set me up for it. She put me in the room that had a sliding glass door to the outside.
She did set you up for it.
She set me up for
You
it.
snuck out of there like a rat every single day.
I snuck out and I snuck people in all the time. It was so easy. Sorry, Mom, but like that was on you.
That house itself is just
Demonic.
it needed anointing. I can't even say
Demonic.
anointing. Because Lord have mercy, how much stuff that happened in that house. The only good memory was the Wii.
Yeah.
We got the Wii.
It was.
That was when we got our first flat screen TV too.
Yeah, that was right. That was right.
Living lavish.
But in that house, and the same way that we snuck out that one time was the same way that I snuck out at a very young age, and I lost my virginity, and I did that, and I shouldn't have done that, but I walked. Oh my gosh, I walked like 5 miles, and then I fell asleep, and Mom called me. Mom was calling me.
No.
Mom was calling me. Bro. I
She
saw
didn't
my
see
phone.
you?
It was like 4:30 in the morning because Chris had to get up, or he came home from work, or he was getting up to go to work or something like that.
No.
So obviously she went to go check up on me, and I wasn't there, and she started blowing me up, dude. And then she sent me a text message, and she's like, "I'm gonna call the police."
I still get those text messages up until like 3 years ago.
Bro, so like I'm like where Teague's at, the sidewalk behind Teague, right? I'm right there, and I'm hauling, and I get to the ditch, and I get to the fence, and then I just sit there, and I'm like, I was just sitting out here the whole time, like, you know.
I'm surprised Mom wasn't waiting for you and her like bata casa, like
She was inside.
oof.
And she took my phone away.
She
What did that
took
do?
your phone away?
What did that do?
I remember Mom took my phone away for one day.
She took my phone away, and she actually managed to keep it for a good like a few days. But we had a house phone at that time, so I would just use the house phone. Obviously, I couldn't text or anything, but I would just use the house phone to talk to people. And then I was going to school, but she felt bad after that because she tried to get into my phone, locked me out, and I didn't remember my password to something. So then I lost everything. I had to get a whole new phone and everything. It was crazy. But anyways, so yeah, I did that. I was like 13 or 14. Awful. I'm an awful person at that time for it. And it just kept getting worse and worse, you know?
Mm-hmm.
It was a lot of drugs. I used to take alcohol to school. This was middle school, by the way. I used to take alcohol to middle school. That's when I started vaping. The first time I ever tried a vape was in middle school.
I remember I have a memory, and this is probably a little more advanced, but you had gotten a vape and my brother had gotten a vape, and my brother gave it to me. My brother gave it to me, or he gave it to Mom and I took it from Mom. Either or.
Probably.
I was vaping when I was like, I kid you not, probably like 15, 14.
That's probably around the time I was like 14 or 13, 14 or 15 when I started vaping. And then like the vaping, you obviously like the vape was hard to get access to, but the one thing that was really easy to get was cigarettes from like our friends, like would have like their parents and stuff. So then I got into smoking cigarettes at a very young age, and that was bad. But then like I just kept drugs, alcohol, sex. Like I just didn't care about anything, you know. Stuff at school started getting like pretty bad. Everybody had something to say about me. It was awful. That was like freshman year. I was going to Brantley, and like I was just kind of like everybody's enemy. And so then I ended up dropping. I didn't drop out, but I tried to do homeschooling for a while, and that didn't really work. So then my mom took me to Wekiva because we had moved from the Seminole County area to Orange County.
Stop tapping your ring on the microphone. Because I know it's going to drive me nuts when I try editing this video. Go ahead.
And that was hard because I was like, you know, when you're with the same group of people for so long, it's a lot easier to like make friends and stuff. So when I went to Wekiva, I didn't know anybody. I had to start completely over, and that was rough. I ended up being like the socially awkward one, like the weird one. And then that's when my depression like took a max. Definitely. Like it was like I think it started like when our parents broke up was when I started to get like really depressed. But like it was livable. But then like going to Wekiva and then like literally sitting alone like outside eating my lunch alone with nobody, I think that's when it like took a max, and that's when I tried to kill myself. And I ended up I had 2 people that I was like in contact with from the school, like other like friends, and I ended up telling them about it, and they like went with me they took me to get it, like to go report it. And so I remember mom walked in, like I'm not like trying to flame mom or anything, you know, like mom walked in and then she goes like, you're gonna go live with your dad. You know, and I'm just like, and that's like made me bawl even harder, because like, you know why I'm here, and that's the first thing you say to me when you see me.
When I look back and I think about moments like that where like I feel like our parents have been like standoffish or have like told us something, or like, I mean, we both know how mom is, or how she was. She's growing obviously, but I always think about like it's their first time living life too. So it's like,
Yeah.
they know as much as we do. I mean, they're obviously a little older, a little wiser, but they're literally living life. So they're living life for the first time. So us going through this stuff and like doing these things, they're probably caught off guard. Like, what do I do? And you know,
And also their background too, it doesn't help, you know, like coming from like a Hispanic culture, like, oh, depressed, like, yeah, sure, whatever. That's not true. Just be happy. You know, just be
Yeah.
happy.
little did they know they were also depressed, both of them. So
Yeah.
but
To be honest.
very
But I remember
sad.
dad was the one that came in clutch during that time. Like, dad was the one that was like really there for me. Like, I would call him at lunch, like crying. I'd be like, I want to go, I don't want to be here. And like, he would go and pick me up from school, or he would send like somebody to come pick me up and take me out of school. So he was in clutch during that time. And towards, I want to say my junior year, I met my 7-year-old daughter's dad, and all senior year I was like with him. And the one thing I gotta give it to him was, because of him I was able to get my high school diploma, because I was failing so bad. I think freshman year I got like 1 credit, and you're supposed to get what, 7?
14, 21. I don't remember high school. Nor do I want to remember high school
I
whatsoever.
basically was just like, I was basically like, my senior year was when he was like, yo, like, what is it, like,
Oh, you're talking about like per semester? Oh,
for
yeah.
the year, like the whole year.
Oh, yeah, probably like
right, because
7.
each class is 1 credit. So
I mean, remember some of them are like halves. I think like PE is like a half.
whatever. But anyways, I just remember that he was like, what are you doing, and all that stuff. So then I was in credit recovery, and then I was also taking 7 core classes my senior year, and I was also taking like 4 or 6 online classes just to graduate. Yeah. By the time prom, I just remember sitting in the counselor's office, and then like she was like, keep going, you're working so hard. And I remember she took out my my grades and my transcript, and she goes, well, this F will cancel out this F.
Bro, they try to do everything to get you to graduate, especially when your high school has low ratings, which I know Wekiva has terrible graduation rates.
Yeah.
They're gonna get you to graduate one way or another.
Yeah, so she was
Canceling
like,
out, skipping, whatever you
Yep.
do.
Yep. So she goes like, this F cancels out this F, and then this C will do this, and da da da, and all that stuff. So basically, by the time that prom started coming around, I had a 2.0. I was like, this is good enough for me. And I stayed at 2.0 until I graduated. I graduated with exactly 2.0.
Yeah, I think you can graduate with like a 1.8 now or something.
Who, me? Oh,
now.
now?
Bro, they just want them out of there, bro.
Whatever.
They don't care. They don't care.
But I just remember when I came out from like graduating, and like I'm hugging everybody and yada yada and all that stuff, and then I see dad, And then me and him lock eyes, and he starts crying because he goes, I did not think this was gonna happen, like, because of everything that was going on. It's so nice to see this, you know, because I have to mention that my brother and my sister are brains. They were brains in school. Like, they were the one with the cords. My brother went to a special school. Like, these smart, like, in like my family, I think like this, like most book smart people are definitely my brother and my sister, and then there's me. And I was just like, so I think my dad, just the fact that he was so proud that I graduated was hilarious.
I think everyone was like, it was a miracle from God, bro.
Finally.
I think that was one of the first signs of the Lord moving in your life at that point. Because it was bad.
That was bad.
And then what happened next?
And then after that, I was like, all right, so now what?
So now what? Let me get pregnant.
Now what am I gonna do with my life, you know? Like, dang. So then I started thinking about different things I wanted to do. I was really into, like, because I was like, I can't go to college.
Yeah.
I just like messed up high school. Imagine college, man. And I'm still like kind of in the head, you know. And so
Me too.
I just remember I was like, well, I love true crime, right? So I'll just be like a detective or something. And then I realized that detectives have one of the highest divorce rates. So I was like, all right, no, because I knew I wanted a family.
Yeah.
I knew I wanted to be a mom. I knew I wanted to be a wife. I knew that.
Yeah.
So I was like, I'm not gonna do that.
Yeah.
So then I'll just be a cop, you know. Ooh. I was even considering joining the military, but I couldn't join the military because I was clinically depressed. So there's always something. I couldn't join the military.
If you were to join the military, what branch would you have
I was
done?
gonna do the Marine Corps, bro. Go big or go home.
I was gonna do the Air Force.
Oh, but they're smart.
The babies.
They're smart.
I don't know why do we all have a phase? I mean, my brother actually went through with it, but why are we we all had those phases where like they just ship me off.
Just send me off the war, bro, and get it over with.
Send me away. We all had a phase where we wanted to do it, and my brother, he
did it 4 years. Woo, good job. But then I got pregnant. So then there goes that dream.
From clinically depressed to pregnant.
So I couldn't be a police officer. That dream went down the drain for me. But then, so I got pregnant once. Lost that baby. But then I got married while I was still pregnant to Kim's dad. I got married.
And how you have to say you got pregnant at what age?
I was the beginning of 19. I was 19.
You're 19, and then you got married
I got married 19.
and then you gave birth at.
Well, no, that's the baby I lost. The first baby I lost. Ended up getting divorced. At
what age?
I think I was 21.
Okay.
I think I was 21 because Kimberly's. Oh no, I might have been. No, I think I was 21 because it was. Remember Kimberly's first birthday?
Yeah.
And then after that, I think it's when we actually started like split up.
Okay.
But yeah, I don't want to talk about, you know, Kim's dad or anything like that. But
Yeah. I mean, you learn, you grow.
yep, we learn, we grow. He's doing his thing right now. I think he's expecting his own baby now. Congratulations. But
Congrats.
so then
homie.
after him, I think that's when I really started taking a turn for the worse. I wasn't the best a mom in that time. I had a very young baby, and I wasn't the best mom. I think I could have done better. I started smoking more. I started drinking more. I started doing the crazy stuff. Remember, did I tell you the story about the guy that I met on this website?
Yes. No, he was psycho.
Yeah, I met a psycho on the website, and I drove all the way to Kissimmee to see him, and I've never met him in person before, and I drove all the way to Kissimmee to his house.
And wasn't he like a convicted felon or something like that?
Yeah, bro, he was like committed fraud and theft and like all this crazy stuff.
It's crazy what a worldly person would do for just attention
Love.
and just love.
All I wanted was love. That's all I wanted. I just wanted to feel loved. Like my marriage. I got broken.
Mm-hmm.
I got broken.
Getting cheated on is brutal.
Yeah, I literally feel like I got like the way that the whole thing worked out, like the way that everything happened, and then finding everything out the way that I was, and then like I would find something out, and then I would like go back and I would be like, all right, like we need to do this, and then I would find something else, and then like it was just like so much back and forth that I literally felt like I got picked up, crumbled up like a piece of paper, and then like thrown in the trash can.
Mm-hmm.
So I just wanted to feel loved, and I just wanted somebody just to treat me nice.
Mm-hmm.
And so I was on Tinder. I met somebody, and then through him I ended up working at a restaurant, and I was at that restaurant for a good while. And
Tinder is where they get ya.
huh?
Tinder is where they get ya.
Yeah. Stay off of Tinder.
Stay off of Tinder. Listen,
They're never gonna work out.
this is my ad. This is my ad for the girls out there. No man on no dating app is worth your time. I don't care how desperate you are for love.
Mm-hmm.
The Lord will bring it. But I promise you, no dating app is gonna do
Stay
it
off
for
the
you.
dating apps, man.
Just
Stay off the
it.
dating apps.
Stay off it. Even I heard even like the Christian ones are kind of.
Well, because you know, there's a lot of weirdos out there that
There's-
have fetishes for
Yep.
Christian girls.
Yes,
So
yes.
they're literally just going to destroy you.
You're gonna You're gonna find your husband at the church.
Yep.
Meet me at the church at 12:30,
You're gonna
and
find
I
that
will
husband
show
at that
you.
Bible study.
Yeah.
You're gonna find that husband at that worship night.
Yeah.
You're gonna find your husband in the evangelizing group that you're gonna go out to on a Friday night.
Yeah.
That's where you're gonna find your
Yep.
husband, sister. Not.
Preach. You're gonna find your husband at the church. You ain't gonna find it on some rusty, dusty little website where people go on. Anyone can literally go on. What, like, you think it's the Lord dictating that website? Nope. Nothing's dictating that website. You go in and put your name, your date, your birthday, and you're a Christian now. No.
Mm-hmm.
Don't listen to. Anyways,
Just because you got a Bible verse tattoo on your shoulder,
just because
don't
you got a
mean you're a
Bible verse in
Christian.
your bio,
yes, don't mean you're a
not
Christian.
That? Just
honey.
because you say that you've been to church once.
Don't mean you a Christian, baby. No, no,
Dang, we
no.
need to stop. We need to stop.
No, because people, there's a lot of, they're like, especially speaking, like even for guys too, like girls out there, like they're gonna say one thing, and then you see them living a life, and then it's the other thing, and like that was my ex, you know, like when I met him, I was the atheist. I was trying to convince him that God wasn't real, you know, and he came from a Christian home, and so like, but like he wasn't showing the fruits of it.
That's the problem with this generation nowadays, though, is that nowadays, it's that they don't really know. And listen, I am a victim of this as well. You say, and this is kind of like when I kind of first got saved too, like you say you know the Lord, but like you don't know the biblical foundations. You don't know like the root, like what's behind it. So it's like this generation is like, all right, I believe in God, like I'm gonna pray, but like little do they know, like no sex before marriage, or like you know, stuff like that. Just like following the Bible and like what the Bible really has to say.
Yes, Stephanie.
I was gonna say, you gotta ask them if they know the fruit of the spirit, and if they say like apples or something, or like strawberries.
In case you didn't hear what she said,
That's the test. I'm gonna use that one
She
in
said-
about 5 minutes. Actually,
she said you gotta ask them if they know the fruit of the spirit, and if they say apples, pears, just go, sister. Just go, sister.
that's funny. That's a good one. I'm gonna write that down.
But I'm just saying,
Thank you.
like, you know, I have made a lot of mistakes, and I have been with people that said, oh yeah, I go to church, or yeah, I believe in God, and they don't show that fruit, you know, and don't make the same mistakes that a lot of people have made. So that's just my advice. You know, you're gonna save yourself. I was 21 and divorced already with the baby. She was 1.
Yeah. So I mean, of course, a lot of stuff happened after that as well. I mean, you went through life.
I think that was like, I know when I was younger it was bad, but I think what made it bad was that I was young.
Yeah.
I think I did my worst once I was like legal.
Yeah.
You
No, but
know?
I think that there's like, and the reason I'm obviously not going to say it because I'm not going to talk about something that you haven't talked about yet, but there has definitely been things that have happened in your life that you haven't mentioned that have been very bad. Not stuff that you've done, but stuff that you've experienced in life that have, you know, caused a lot of damage. Like, well, caused, I mean, we're obviously new creations now, but in the past had caused you a lot of damage and brought you to that low point, because it wasn't like you didn't go from divorce to like the saddest you've ever been. It was obviously levels to it. That the sadness had led you to a toxic, sad relationship that you ended up settling for that eventually turned out terrible, and you would have known in the beginning if you weren't so just desperate for love or desperate for attention. You know what I'm saying? You were also young too, so when
I was
you're
trying
young,
to
you're dumb.
I was trying to figure out life. So young.
It's just a lot. Like, I feel like even like you explaining it right now, like you go from Jehovah's Witness to this to this to this to this to this to that, and that can really throw you for a loophole. So
Yeah.
but I definitely think that you have gone, and as a witness, because I was obviously there I was being constantly told, don't follow that, don't do that, don't do that. As a witness of your life, like, I definitely say you've been through some stuff. You've been through it, and like I said, she hasn't even mentioned it, and I'm not even gonna mention it, but you've been through it, like, for real.
Yeah, man, life is hard, dude.
I'm surprised she hasn't mentioned the things that I'm thinking about, because I'm like,
What is it? Tell me.
that's the most traumatic thing I can think about.
Tell me, dude, because there's a lot, so I didn't want to take up too much time.
I mean, you don't go in depth about it just because, for the sake of time. But, like, just, like, the whole, like, Tito situation. I'm going to bring up his name because that's his nickname. But, like, when you were with that person and, like, everything that, like, had happened in the relationship and, like, that event that happened while you were in that relationship.
Oh, shoot, man.
That was trauma.
That was bad, man.
That was trauma.
I can talk about it real quick.
Yeah, go
That's
ahead.
easy. So,
I don't even think Steph knows about
I
this.
don't know. That was in high school. You're talking about the car, right?
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah, I was in high school, and I was with this dude. He was a cool dude. He was a good dude.
They were cool people. Very cool
And
people.
he actually taught me how to dance, like Mexican music. And I would forever thank him for that. Like, that was, like, with him, I think was one of the funnest times I had. And, like, in, like, being a teenager was, like, going out and, like, dancing. And we would just go dance. Like, and I love to dance. And, like, that was fun. And I messed up. I messed that relationship up. But, I mean, it's all...
You were a child.
Exactly. But anyways, it was Halloween night. Dang, man, I block trauma out.
You really do. 'Cause I'm
Dang.
traumatized from that.
It was Halloween night, and we did something. I don't know what we did. I don't know if we went trick or treating, or I don't know.
That was the first Halloween I ever celebrated. I was like 10, 11. No. I was like 13.
No, I think I was in 10th grade when that happened.
I was like 13, 14.
Well, it was Halloween night, and then we stopped at Pizza Hut. We picked up some pizza, and then we were on the Pizza Hut is literally like like our neighborhood, and then 434. I think it's 434. That's right there.
That's
It's either 434. I think it's 441.
I fuck.
441.
Suck at streets.
It's our neighborhood 441, and then 436, and then the Pizza Hut. So we were at the Pizza Hut, and then we were driving to our neighborhood, so we had to cross those two major intersections. And in the car, I was sitting in the middle. My boyfriend was next to me. His sister was on the other side of me, and then the driver and the passenger were brothers. And so my boyfriend and his sister were there, and it was like it wasn't really dark, but like that once you cross the light, it gets really dark. And there was this like 13-year-old kid that was crossing the street, and he was like wearing all black, and you couldn't really see him. And then I'm sitting in the back seat, like in the middle, and I see the kid, And the guys in the car have expressed before that, like, when women, like, scream or they're like, oh, be careful, like, watch out, it makes the situation worse. So I didn't want to, like, say anything, but I'm just like, hey, you know, like, watch out, watch out. And then by the time that we all, like, said something, because I think I had told my boyfriend at the time, I was like, yo, like, you know, like, I tapped him like quick, because, like, I see he's not stopping and the kid is, like, crossing the street. And by the time that we all said something, it was too late. Literally the kid just hit the front of the car, bounced onto the windshield, and, like, the windshield, like, shattered. And I just remember, like, feeling the glass, like, on my face. And so then we're just like, pull over. So then he's pulling over, and we all get out of the car.
So he didn't see him at all?
Yeah, he didn't see him. The kid was wearing all black, and he was jaywalking, and the light was green. So we had the right of way.
Yeah.
And the kid was just, like, crossing the street away from the crosswalk. I mean, his friends were still on the other side of the road, and his friends were watching him cross the street. And 'cause he just wanted to cross, I guess. I don't know. But I just remember getting out the car, and I'm, like, running to this kid, and then I just see him, like, laid out on the ground, and, like, he's just, like, he's bleeding, like, a little bit of blood is, like, coming out of his ear or from behind him or something. And I just see this kid, like, laying out, and I'm just, like, screaming. And then I remember I get, like, picked up from the back, and, like, he's like, don't let her see. But and then the cars are just driving by him, like nobody stopped. That's what, like, I was like, y'all see, like, a person laying here, and everybody was driving by him, like, almost, like, running over him. It was, like, so scary. And so the police show up and all this stuff, and obviously we were all underage, all of us, so we all had to call our parents. And I called my mom and my sister, and they showed up. But they couldn't come talk to us first because they split us all up because they needed to take our statements about what happened. So I just remember the cop comes to me, and I'm, like, sobbing. And then she's asking me what happened, who am I with, and all that stuff. And I was, like, sobbing, and I was just like, what happened? Like, what's wrong, you know? And then she said, oh, we're just calling this, like, something homicide. I forgot what was the word. So I'm just like, he died? He was like, yeah, on the way to the hospital, he died. And I was like, whoa, man. And that was, like, yeah, for every Halloween for a while was kind of traumatizing. But I think as life got more traumatizing, I just kind of started blocking things out. But every single time, they, like, it really sucked because he was the only child to two older parents. So the fact that I was in a vehicle that, like, took the life of that kid was sucked. But
the good thing is that, like,
yeah, the driver wasn't at fault. Like, the driver got his, like, blood taken and everything. He was completely sober and everything. It was literally just an accident. Like,
Like, they call those, like, freak accidents. Like,
yeah,
it's just something that just happened.
Yeah, it was literally something that just happened.
But to witness it is,
yeah, I mean, I was in the middle. I literally saw everything. Yeah, that was.
Yeah, I just want to bring that up because I just feel like that was, like, I don't have much, like, I don't have many memories or, like, anything from, like, my childhood, but, like, obviously all the memories I do have is just, like, traumatizing moments.
I actually don't remember our childhood at all.
Yeah,
like, I remember, like, bits and pieces of it. There's things I do remember, but I think it's because I've just learned to block out trauma. I mean, I don't think we mentioned this, but, like, our dad has, like, an alcohol problem. Especially growing up, it was really bad. So I definitely blocked out a lot of that. Yeah. And then having
our mom and our dad, pretty much.
Yeah. And then having to watch mom deal with it, and then it was just, I blocked out a lot of my childhood. Yeah. I don't remember a lot of it.
At the time, it's like we were, like, especially you, I mean, you felt it more than me. It was, like, just numbing at the time, you know? But yeah. I guess this kind of concludes the testimony childhood part, and now I get to speak lights and happiness and positivity. So what happens next after a few years?
Yeah, so I was working at that restaurant that the guy from Tinder introduced me to. I found myself in an extremely dark place. I mean, I was going out every single night. I was getting drunk every single night. And I had an apartment with a kid to take care of. And I remember I was so broke that I had to use my tips of the night to go and drink.
Mm.
It was crazy. But I remember I remember me and Kim's dad had tried again. And that was a disaster.
Mm-hmm.
A complete mess. A disaster. And it's just so nice to think about, like, what comes after.
Mm-hmm.
But I remember we were sitting on the couch in my apartment, and then that's when we were like, this ain't gonna work. Like, let's just be real with ourselves. Like, this isn't gonna work. But it was difficult because I was like, dang, like, this, everything sucks. Life sucks. Like, here I am again, like, you know, I was like partying and all this stuff, and
I just kind of felt like never ending, you know?
Yeah, and I was doing stuff I shouldn't have done too. Like, you know, I was messing with the married man and all that was a whole mess too. But and then I remember sitting in my shower and I'm like crying because I'm like, dude, like, when am I gonna be enough? When is it gonna be enough? When's life this? And I'm just like, God, like, if you're out there, if you're even real,
Mm-hmm.
like, can you help me? Because, like, I don't even know what to call you, because I don't even know, like, I only knew Jehovah's Witness God. I remember even, I don't know if you came with me, but I remember even driving by the Jehovah's Witness church, the congregation one time. I don't know if I texted you or something, and I was like, these are the hours. Do you want to go? Because I was just, like, so desperate for something to change.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I was willing to, like, just try to go back to see if that works. But a week after that prayer, it was November 1st. It was right after Halloween. And I'm, you know, at work, I'm serving stuff, and there's this dude. At the restaurant that he was a regular there, and he would come and work there. And for a while, like, I was like, oh, he's cute, you know. Like, I would tell all my coworkers, I was like, if I just, I was BC, but I would say if I just had him for one night.
Oh my Lanta. And the Lord had other plans.
At the time, we were wearing masks, so all you would see was his eyes.
Mm-hmm.
And he had, like, light green eyes.
Oh.
I was like, ooh, exotic. So he had
Yikes.
a daughter, and I had a daughter. And so then I had already spoke to him before, obviously, because he was a regular. And so we're talking about our kids, and we're like, oh, what did your daughter dress up for Halloween? Or what did your daughter dress up for Halloween? And we were talking, and we just kept going and going. Like, the conversation kept going. But it was in that weird period of time where, like, it gets slow. And so then it started getting busy again. And so I think he noticed that. And then he's just like, oh, you know, like, I know you're busy and whatever, but, like, you know, we should, like, if you were older, like, I would ask you, like, you know, like, I would ask you to continue this conversation elsewhere, whatever he said. And then I was like, man, you can't be, like, that old, like, right? Like, how old are you? And he goes, oh, I'm 37. I'm like, oh, well, that's not that bad.
No, he's like, what,
And he's like, here you
85?
go. Don't say that.
So he gave you his number, and
He
then...
gave me his number, and then I didn't text him that night because, like, you know what? I'm going to do this right, finally. Right? Because
Smart woman.
I'm going to do this right because I know if I text him today, I'm going to be in his house tonight. And I'm not doing that. And that's what he was looking for, by the way.
At the time.
Yeah, at the time. But I'm just so good that he fell in love.
Anyways, let's fast forward. So they obviously did it. Well, he knew Christ, obviously.
Yeah, he knew
but
Christ, and he had gone through a really nasty divorce. His wife completely destroyed.
But this is his story to tell.
Yeah, that's his story. Completely
Coming soon.
He completely got destroyed and got taken down to the low. And he grew up, you know, Christian, so he knew the Lord and everything. And he was like refinding God and everything. And I had gone out, and he had seen some things, and he was like, yo, this, like, if you are living like this isn't gonna work, you know, because I'm trying to do this, but you're doing this. And so then that was a real, like, eye-opening moment for me, because I was like, oh my gosh, like, he's right. Like, even if me and him don't end up together, he's right. Like, I'm continuing. This is the problem. I'm continuing to live this lifestyle, and I'm not making any changes for better. So what makes me think that I'm ever gonna like be okay, or am I gonna find somebody that like actually cares and it's nice and is gonna take care of me and my family? You know?
I'm a firm believer that was definitely like the Lord speaking through him to you.
Oh yeah,
'Cause, like,
100%.
he had your attention, so like that was the best way to get through to you.
I feel like that was the only way that God was really gonna like get my attention, get me to see it.
So
was
from
just
that,
like,
from that moment on, it was the rest is history, and she lived happily ever after.
yeah, man. He took me to church once. It rocked my world. I was like, whoa. It was weird, obviously, because you stand up and you sing worship and raise your hands. I was like, oh my gosh, what is this place?
It's different.
But then I think like the next time or the time after that was when I gave my life to Christ, and it was all uphill from there. And then I ended up marrying the dude, by the way. And then I have his baby.
How long have you guys been together?
4 years this November.
4 years.
It happened. It moved fast. He asked me to be his girlfriend November 20th. We got married a year later.
I don't blame him.
So,
Waiting. Well, then with that came obviously a trail. We were so rocked and just so amazed by like the change that they were able to do in such a short period of time, like the way that the Lord moved in their lives, that we were like, we want that happiness, we want what they have. So
at first though, it was very isolating because a lot of people were like, oh, why are you changing, why this, why that. A lot of people were like,
I'm a victim.
a lot of people were like, I don't like this.
I'm not a victim.
Yeah,
Accuser.
a lot of people were like, I don't like this, I don't like this. But then all we did was like live out our lives, we just lived out our lives, and then people were like, whoa, like this is actually like there's something different here.
That's all you had to do was live your life, and it gets to a point where you can't continue to preach. Well, obviously continue to preach, but it gets to a point where you can only do so much, and then like you planted the seed, the Lord will take over.
I kept inviting people to church, and I kept getting no, and I would keep trying to talk to them about the Lord, and they kept getting like denied and all that stuff. So I stopped talking about God and Jesus and all that, and I loved on them, and I just continued being the new me, and I was just happy, like obviously people saw a change in me. They completely saw a change in me. I forgot who said it. Was it you, or I don't know who said it, but like it was like, if God can change Melissa, God can change anybody.
Probably me. Oh, because
so then they saw that, and then it was just like a domino effect.
But it's just the change wasn't just like a little bit. Like it was like a whole 180. Like it was like
overnight.
Overnight, she just became a whole new person, and it's like the Lord can do that for you. Like if He can do that for her, He can do it for you, and it's like He can do that. Like it's just so beautiful to see, like with just a snap of a finger, or just one encounter, or one word, one conversation, your life can change forever,
Yeah.
And that's exactly what happened to you. And then it was just a domino effect from there. I feel like just you having the Holy Spirit within and just being able to see Jesus through you, like it's what brought everyone closer to Christ around you.
I think one of the biggest transformation was to our cousins.
Our cousins.
Manny and Jackie.
Shout out. And they will be on this podcast soon as well. Yeah. Like a lot of us.
That was a good transformation. They're like,
We'll see if she really watched this one all the way through too. Because she'll see this part too.
that was a good one too, man. Their whole family got rocked, and that was fantastic. And then now she's rocking her family. So it's just fantastic, like how the Lord works. Just one person accept Christ, and then like everything gets rocked. And I think that's like my biggest advice for people is that like if you have like family members that aren't seeming to like listen or accept the Lord or anything, just keep loving. Obviously, if it's like a safe place, like a good relationships,
Yeah.
right? Like if you have a good relationship and stuff and everything's going okay, but you're trying to get them to come to church and they don't want to, my only advice, just keep loving them. Keep being you in Christ. Keep loving on them. Keep showing up. Keep being there for them. Like, let them be the Bible that they've never read.
Yeah.
You
That's
know,
good. Never heard that one before.
let them see Christ through you. And then one day it's gonna click. When they're at their worst, when they're at their lowest, when they're going through a storm or something, who's the first person they're gonna call? It's gonna be you. It usually is Stephanie. But the first person they're gonna call is you.
Yeah.
And then that's when you're gonna make in the plug. You're gonna plug in Jesus. You're gonna be like, yo, have you thought about Jesus? And they're gonna be like, whoa, I've never thought about Jesus. And then boom, salvation prayer. And now heaven just won another one.
And another one. And another one.
And they're gonna be dancing on their grave.
Dancing on the grave that I once lived in. Dancing on the grave. Okay, well that leads to the perfect ending.
Oh, my dogs.
The perfect ending, which is what I like kind of want to do, because I love worship and I love praising the Lord.
I ain't singing.
No.
Not on the mic.
No, you're not singing.
I'll praise dance though. Bring out Stephanie.
Oh my gosh.
Come on, Steph.
Oh,
Show us.
like
Woo! Wait. There you go.
you better go check and see if my camera's in focus now. I was gonna ask, what is your favorite worship song?
Ooh.
And don't take 10 years to think about it.
My favorite worship
I know it's
song.
Brandon Lake.
Actually, I love Brandon Lake. Me and my husband have gone to like 3 Brandon Lake concerts. But actually, it's that one song that I tried to show you guys, and you're like, when's the beat gonna drop? Let me find it.
I know you're copyrighted.
No, I'm not gonna play it. I'm just gonna get the name. Because for some reason I can't think of the name. But it's really one of my favorite. Oh, Beat the Grave. I didn't have to look for it. Beat the Grave. And
You know what that sounds? You know what this is? When BC, obviously, Jersey Shore, when they beat the
they did the fist pumps.
what's it called? It's beat the
It's fist pumps.
no beat the beat or something like that. They had a
Beat
phrase.
the beat. No, they would go like this.
They would beat the beat up. Boom, 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 boom. That was BC.
Beat the Grave. But I think the band is like, they're clothed in humility. You walked among us as a human, the sinless Lamb of God, the pioneer of redemption. They nailed you to the cross. You bled and died for us. They laid you in the tomb, but then you beat the grave. You overcame. Now death is dead forever. King Jesus Christ,
Amen.
be glorified forever.
Amen.
That's a good song.
So, I feel like I say it every time, but I have a new one every time. Currently, thanks to the young adults at this church, is Goodbye Yesterday. Goodbye Yesterday.
That's a good one.
I'm living in a life of a new day. All right, we're ending it right here, kids.
See ya. Thank you. And I know I'm all over the place. I'm so sorry. But if you ever want to sit down and hear more of my story, I'm more than welcome to get a coffee with you. I love coffee. Or even if you don't like coffee, we'll get something that you like. I'm willing to chat and listen to your story and help out any way I can.
Maybe she should be the one in control of this podcast now.
I don't know.
Anyways, I want to give you a hug.
Love you.
Love you.
Thank
But
you.
that's all. Stay tuned for the next podcast, and we'll see you soon.
Bye.
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 Stop it.